I don't want to be making this video right now. I'll be really honest. As a Manchester United fan, we are on the eve of what is going to be one of the biggest nights of our season, if not the biggest night of our season. Do or die against Leipzig tomorrow, right? To remain in the Champions League, to make it out of the group stages into the knockout stages, right? And instead of us focusing on the game at hand, which is a massive game, we have, once again, Paul Pogba drama, Mino Raiola coming out making claims about Pogba leaving the club, Pogba not wanting to be at the club, and quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I am sick of it as a fan, and I love Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is one of my favourite players. Do you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of time for Paul Pogba, right? You know, the reality is, as a Manchester United fan, is I understand that our fan base is quite divided. We're called United, but the reality is our fan base is quite divided. We have so many small little factions, right? Different groups of supporters, different fan channels, different people who support different players, right? You got people who are Bruno fans, people who are Pogba fans, people who are Martial fans, people who genuinely just hardcore support an individual player somewhat more than the club, it seems at times, right? And once again, we have Mino Raiola coming out after Pogba's had a great performance. It seems like this happens all the time. This is my issue. It seems like this happens all the time. After Pogba has some sort of a good performance, Mino Raiola comes out and he has to make some sort of wild claim about Pogba not being happy at the club, Pogba wanting to leave, right? I believe it happened last year after we beat Man City. It's happening again right now. And honestly, I'm tired of it, right? Mino Raiola did an interview with Tutto Sport, right, an Italian outlet. He did an interview with Tutto Sport where he says, I can say that it's over for Paul Pogba at Manchester United. Brother, what's this? What is that about? We're about to play one of the biggest games of our season. And you're coming out and saying this. Why does he have to make it all about Paul Pogba? We should be focused on the game. And all the fan base, all anyone's talking about right now is this. Because quite frankly, if this is true, if this is how Pogba feels, it's absurd. Do you know what I'm saying? I want Pogba to come out and clear this as soon as possible, right? He needs to, because, when a couple of weeks ago, when that French outlet came out and said that Paul Pogba was going to quit the national team, right, because of comments made by the president of France, Pogba snapped out quickly. He snapped out quickly, right? He went out and clarified that straight away. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, as a Manchester United fan who honestly does not have any biases against Pogba, I do not have any agenda against Pogba, but as a Manchester United fan, this would be the same with any other player on our team. If Paul Pogba does not sack his agent, then I don't want to hear it. Because if he does not do that, then that means he must feel this way. Mino Raiola, he represents Paul Pogba. Do you know what I'm saying? And after so long, we've seen this pattern so many times. We hear things about Paul Pogba wanting to leave, Paul Pogba having long-term ambitions of playing for Real Madrid, Paul Pogba not being happy. And at some point, right, as Man United fans, we've got to stop, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Right, we've got to stop giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think that's what many fans like myself have been doing. We give him the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, your agent's bloody said you don't want to play for the club. Your agent said you're done. Your agent said you're unhappy. You want to leave. And so for me, right, if Paul Pogba doesn't sack his agent as a sign of saying, look, that's not true, that does not represent how I feel, then I personally will never want to see him play another game for the first team, ever. I never want to see him play for the first team again. If this is true, if Paul Pogba really feels this way, if he doesn't come out and make some sort of a statement, I hope Ole slaps him in the under-23s until his contract expires. He can sit in the under-23s. He can sit in the under-18s if he could. If he really feels this way, I never want to see him play another game for the club. I'll be quite honest. That is outrageous. That is disgusting. When we have one of the biggest games of our season, the timing of it hurts me. The timing of it really hurts me. I find it really inconsiderate, selfish. Do you know what I'm saying? It makes me think that all the stuff that, Jose Mourinho said about Pogba was true, And I hate to sort of bring old things back like that, but, clearly Jose was right. If this is true, right, and that's why I really want Pogba to come out and make a statement. But in my opinion, it's already taken too long. As far as I'm concerned, the team's landed in Germany. Pogba is definitely aware of what's happened, and so the fact that I've not seen anything pop up on the timeline, anything come up about things being cleared up, it says to me that this is not a good sign. Obviously, we can still give him time, but everything I'm saying is based on the premise that what Mino Raiola is saying is genuinely how Pogba feels, and I have every reason to feel that it is true because he's his bloody agent. It's not like when you hear somebody close to the player or a source close to the player or the player's brother or the player's. This is his agent. His agent literally represents him. The person who literally represents him has come out and said this. Do you know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of love for Pogba. You know, if Pogba can work on an agreement to stay long term, I, as a Man United fan, would be fine with that, right? It's frustrating because it was only 2 days ago he had the interview where he's talking about, you know, it's all about the team win, playing for the team. So was that lies? You don't believe that? Was he just waffling to the media? I mean, it's really, really frustrating. I'm tired of it. I don't want us to be focusing on this. I want us to be focusing on the game at hand. And it's going to be really interesting to see what Ole does. I feel so bad for Ole. Ole has a hard-ass job, man. Ole's job has not been made any easier along the way, right? He already has enough pressure on him as a manager. But now to have to deal with this situation it's honestly so irritating to have to deal with this, man. I'll be honest. I feel bad for Ole. I do feel bad for him. I wonder what he does. Do you put Pogba in your first team? Because if this is true, I don't start Pogba if I'm the manager. If this is all true, if I go to Pogba and I say, is this true? Why is your agent saying this? And he says, you know, yeah, well, he doesn't give me a definitive answer as to why it's not true. I'm not playing him. I'm sorry, I'm not playing him. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, I cannot imagine, you know, the whispers going around the dressing room right now. I can't. It's frustrating, man. It honestly is frustrating as a fan of my club to see the absolute rubbish that's going on. Mino Raiola, I'm not a fan of this guy. I really am not. He's an absolute mercenary. Like I said, man, it seems like every time Paul Pogba has some sort of a good performance, Mino Raiola comes to open up his mouth. Come on, man. It is really unfair to the manager. It's really unfair to the fans. It's unfair to the rest of the players. And I genuinely do believe Paul Pogba's a nice guy. And a part of me wants to think that, you know, he doesn't want things to be done this way. You know? A part of me thinks he doesn't want things to be done this way. But I can only forgive him if he gets rid of his agent. Because this has happened multiple times now. You know? So, look, I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow. I wonder what Ole does in terms of team selection, but Paul Pogba, you need to sort your agent, big man. And if you're not willing to sort your agent, I hope you can enjoy the under-23s, because that's where you can sit until your contract ends. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the whole situation with Pogba. I don't understand it, man, because, you know, all we hear when it comes to Pogba is that, you know, he wants to go to Real Madrid, this, that. But Real Madrid aren't interested in him. Fabrizio Romano, I'll see if I can pull it up. Fabrizio Romano has come out and said, you know, nobody at Real Madrid is pushing for a Paul Pogba move. You know, Real Madrid don't want Pogba. You know, they don't want Pogba. So I don't know what he's pushing for. Maybe he wants to go back to Juventus. I don't know what it is, but it is incredibly frustrating, you know. And if he wants to go, let him go. If he wants to go, just let him go, because we don't have time to focus on this. You know, we need to focus on the season at hand. We need to focus on staying in the Champions League. We need to focus on building on what we have. We're in the top 4 right now. Well, I believe actually we were pushed down into 5th, but we are in a race to actually be in the top 4, which after the first couple games of the season, it looked like we might not be in a race to do that. So we need to be focusing on football, not focusing on Mino Raiola. Like I said, let me know what you guys think about the whole Paul Pogba situation. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 11 2K. And I'll see you guys all very, very soon.